Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, just know that typically speaking, just get a quick disclaimer to my ladies and my gentlemen, my toaster stools out here, that typically I try to get to gist of my thought process in the first 5 minutes because I respectfully do understand, like, hey, everyone doesn't have time to go over 5 minutes of whatever they found on YouTube or on social media, period. So I understand that. Just give y'all a quick disclaimer on that. But this particular video, real quick, I do want to say this. First of all, stay hydrated, y'all, please. Okay. Second thing that I want to say is this particular video kind of came out of the blue somewhat because I was just reason I got my hoodie up now is because it's kind of a little cool outside and I was just walking around my neighborhood and I was walking around the neighborhood. I was listening to a Jordan Peterson interview that I'll probably post in the description box and or in the comment section for you guys to go listen to because I really enjoy, well, first and foremost, for anyone who doesn't know about Jordan Peterson, by all means, please go look him up. But to kind of like give my own touch on him as a human being, to me, he is typically, in my mind now, y'all, and I think most people who really listen to what he has to say, a lot of young men especially, he's like this, he's like, how would I say this? He's like the uncle you wish you had that would have been like a second father to you. That's really what he is to me. Like he's that uncle you wish you had in life that you could honestly say in your heart of hearts, that would have been my father to me. And I think that's what he represents to a lot of people, not just young men, but just people in general all over the world. Now that's not everybody, all right? That's understandable. But anyhow, just kind of give y'all my approach to how he carries himself or how I see him. And that's one of my reasons why I enjoy listening to him. And as I was listening to the interview, I was imagining I was walking outside, how would I personally want to interview him? Or how, not interview him necessarily, but how would I want to carry a conversation with this man? It was typically what I was thinking. And something that piqued my mind as I was walking, I was thinking in my mind, this imaginary conversation was, what is his thoughts or how would he perceive the concept of versus excuse me. Hold on, I was about to say, y'all. Hold on. I'm about to lose my train. What I was going to say? Okay. Virtues and vices. And why in particular I thought about that is because, and it actually led up to me deciding, you know what, let me go ahead and get this into a quick video real quick while it's fresh on my mind. Because, y'all, this is something I've been thinking about for a long time about the concept of why do we call virtues and why do we call vices vices? You know what I mean? Or the meaning behind in a physical capacity. Why do we give these definitions their meaning? Are these terms their meaning, their definition? And then how do we, in my mind, this is how I feel about it, y'all. How do we try to find an appropriate balance between the two? Because I'm gonna share something with y'all real quick, and you can quote me for this too. I don't think anyone ever said this before. If you have, then or if someone has, then please let me know. But you quote me on this one. I'm about to tell y'all is, and again, real quick, I'm gonna say, before I say this, I'm gonna say this, y'all. Again, I don't try to preach to y'all necessarily and try to convince you, hey, you should do this, you should do that. That's not my place. Again, y'all, the purpose of this channel is to create excuse me, y'all, to create dialogue, create a discussion, so that again, y'all, despite however I may articulate myself, despite however I may my stance on a particular subject, how do I relate it to y'all, don't ever think for ever a moment that you should ever be discouraged to show me a different opinion. And again, let me say this too. If you're going to give me a different opinion, be it if you reach me on Twitter or if you do it in the comment section, always know this. I don't want you to talk for the sake of talking. Or in that case, don't just type the type. Have a reason, have a meaning behind it. You get what I'm saying? That's just how I carry myself, and I would encourage you guys too. But I'm going to tell you have to. I just want to say on that. But real quick, to finish what I was going to say, y'all, is this. That for every virtue, there is a vice that is still counteracted. Always remember that. For every vice, there is a virtue that is to counterbalance. Excuse me. Not counteract. You could use that word. But more so what I was going to say was to counterbalance it. Because here's the thing. as much as we may, as human beings, want to strive for the virtues that we have in life or that we are raised on. Like, for instance, honesty. Or, no. A better one I'm going to use real quick as an analogy to get to where I'm going to go at here. Honor, right? Honor is a virtue. So if honor is a virtue, what opposes honor, right? What's that vice? That vice for me, and I understand a lot of y'all might say, or automatically a lot of people would go with, okay, dishonor. And you could use that, but to me, that's not the right word in my mind that fits it. The word I would personally subscribe for that particular vice, or how to describe it as a counterweight to honor, is not dishonesty. It's a deception. That's what I was going to say. Deception. You can use honesty if you want to. It's kind of like a trade-off term. But the one that to me fits the most is deception. Reason being is because, and again, I'm going to show y'all something. If hold up real quick, I'm not going to spoil, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I'm just going to kind of give key information to get my point across. So for anyone who's ever watched, or let's say you've heard of Game of Thrones, be it if it's the TV series or with the books, just so you guys know, I was still, despite how it might have ended, for people who've heard of it, I would still encourage you to go watch it, or definitely to support the author in his books. But the reason why I want to bring that up, to bring up that series real quick, is a particular character in the book and also in the TV series. His name is Ned Stark. Now, so for some of y'all who know who he is, for who he is, he's considered to be one of the most honorable men in the series for the most part. And second would be Jon Snow, his son. And I'm doing air quotes because, again, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who ever wants to find out. But the reason I'm just doing this is because there's a purpose why I'm bringing his son up. Okay? Because here's the thing. Ned Stark, for the most part, again, for his runtime within the series and, flashbacks or information, he's, again, considered to be one of the most honorable men in Westeros, the place they live at. But the problem that faces with his character, and you see how, unfortunately, it did him in, again, not to spoil anything, but unfortunately, he's done in because of his sense of honor. It did him in. Now, because here's the funny part, is that for the most part, because his reputation as being an honorable man, as being an honest man, has afforded him a lot of respect with a lot of people around him, the problem being is this, is that once he goes somewhere out, because they're in the north, in the region of Westeros, when he goes down south to King's Landing, that's typically where the king of the country, I guess not country, but technically the continent in a sense, resides, or in the kingdoms that they reside in. Now here's the thing. He's coming there trying to kind of figure out a particular mystery, because he's trying to figure out why was this particular individual murdered. Now here's the thing. Because of his mindset, he's going there in the sense of, I'm going to be, again, an honest man and an honorable man. But the problem was this. Never at a point in time did he ever consider the fact that, hey, I might need to utilize a particular different mindset than the one that I possess right now, which is, again, was the opposite of his virtue that he opposed himself. Was the opposite. From honor to, what was the word I used? What was it? To deception. That's what I was trying to say, y'all. Deception. Because unfortunately, guess what? You have people within Westeros who understands the concept of honor, but they know how to play people with, again, the counterbalance to that vice of being deceptive. And the thing is this, y'all, because he never shifts his mindset to say, okay, being honorable within this particular setting is not going to benefit me. So I have to adopt a different one. And he never does that. And unfortunately, that becomes his undoing. Now, here's the thing. And that's the reason I'm going to bring up his son, because what's interesting is this. His son, Jon Snow, is a bastard. So, wink, wink, okay? He's a bastard. So the thing is this. His wife, he has several children, but he only has one bastard son. The thing is this. because of his reputation of being an honorable man and being truthful, truthful, people just take his word when he said, "Oh, that's my bastard son." But later on in the series, you figure out there's more to the story. Again, I'm not gonna spoil that for y'all. But once you learn why he did what he did, it's interesting to know that he was willing to be dishonest. He was willing to be deceptive in that one instance early in his life. And again, you reasonably understand why he does it, because he does it out of love. And again, I'm not gonna spoil that for y'all, but you understand context. But what I find interesting about that is this: when it came to someone other than himself, this was interesting to me, y'all. And again, like I said, this is all that I'm thinking when I was going walking, because I never really thought about this before. I find it interesting, just to use him as an example, is that you have someone who, again, his default mindset is that to be honorable, to be truthful. But when it came to him, or when it came to a matter that was outside of him, he made the justification in his mind to say, I'm going to have to be dishonorable, or I have to, I guess in some way, some like the situation is going to portray me as being dishonorable, but I'm going to take that L. Not the loss, but I'm going to take the lesson. But you know what's interesting is he takes the lesson, but he never applies it ever again. Because it's years later down the road that he's ever had to do that. And it's unfortunate that he never called himself to say, I might have to do that again. And so to me, y'all, there's a valuable lesson into that. And there's a reason why I bring this up in the first place, because I was thinking about it, is that as much as we may, ooh, pardon me, y'all. Excuse me. But to finish my thoughts on this, I'm probably gonna end the video on this. Hopefully, y'all. The point being why I want to bring this up, y'all, is because to me, I think it's interesting that I think typically speaking, it's not inherently bad for any particular social structure wanting to promote virtues. But at the same time, what's interesting is that the underbelly of that is that we feed into our vices. But the trick of this is a trick of the matter. We're willing to put our virtues within the light, but then we want to keep, let's be honest, maybe not everyone, but some of us, within reason, want to keep our vices in the shadows. I don't know why I fuck with my words like that, y'all, but excuse me on that. In the shadows. So my thing is this: if you keep it in the shadows, when it comes to light, you are more appalled. And the thing is this: your mind is going to be more focused on how appalled you are of this particular vice versus how do you really deal with it? How do you deal with it? How do you make it to where it does not necessarily become a part of the norm of life, but you understand how to apply it and you understand how to deal with it when it comes into the norm of life. For another example I'm gonna give y'all is mercy would be another virtue, mercy or grace, if you want to exchange that. And the other one, not another one in terms of virtue, but another vice you could counteract as counterweight would be, let's say, vengeance, or say, what's another one? Like say, okay, no. Let me say my thought process straight. The virtue for being merciful would be vengeful. Let's just stick with that. So the thing is this, y'all, we can promote mercy, but let's be honest, a lot of us can find ourselves in a place where we want to have vengeance. So the thing is this: how do we reasonably enough, y'all, all right, let me just end the video on that, y'all. But the question I asked for y'all is this: what point in time do we, or how do we try to, again, take our virtues and take our vices, how do we try to correctly balance them? Y'all tell me in the comment section down below. With all that being said, just, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Love y'all. Etc. All right, I'm out, y'all. Hold on, is there anything else I'm missing? I'm thinking about. Oh yeah. By all means, yes. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Again, share your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section down below, and post notifications. Subscribe. You don't want to subscribe, it's all good. All right, y'all. Peace again. Bye.